Alright, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to do our second episode of Tiny Bunny and see how it goes. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of scares in store for it. I made it dark in my room so it adds to the spooky factor. So here we are, doing the thing. Oh, I got scared there for a minute. Oh, I was like, where's my save? We're on episode 2. Boom. New school, new teachers, and most importantly, new classmates, who I always have trouble connecting with. Like most other kids with glasses, probably. I forced myself to get out of my warm bed. Dad would usually drive me to my old school, but this morning the bedroom of my parents was silent. Did they sleep in? Maybe it was a good thing. I didn't want to get the daddy's boy reputation from day one. My parents were probably still tucked in, dreaming about the good old days when everything was so simple and easy. Sweet dreams, even if far removed from reality. I silently sneaked out to the first floor so I wouldn't wake anybody, especially the peacefully sleeping Olya. I did my best to step on the middle of every floorboard. I used to play like this even in our old apartment. If my soles touched the space between the floorboards, it counted as stepping into lava. The clock was spurring me on with its hands. I need to hurry, faster, faster. I was too fast, so I needed to circle the hallway once again. Boiling lava was bursting out of the cracks between the floorboards. I needed to watch my step to survive at any cost. Hippity hop, like a frog jumping on molehills, like a fearful bunny in a grove full of wolves. I made a sandwich in the kitchen, shoved it down my throat, and drank it down with cold tea. My appetite was good as of someone being led up the scaffold towards a guillotine. I lowered my gaze and saw that one of my feet was standing on 2 floorboards at the same time. Ooh, burnt to a crisp, huh? I moved my foot. Disgusting little snakes writhed in my belly. The fear of getting hit and being called nasty names. The clock clicked. I need to go. It was dark outside, fitting for an early winter morning. This darkness never fully left the house around here. I took my time tying my shoes, buttoning up the puffy down jacket, trying to delay the unpleasant exit into the semi-dark, into the unnerving unknown. I rubbed my glasses for good luck, though I couldn't remember a single time these thick pieces of glass brought me any good fortune. The sky was akin to a giant bruise. On the east side of it, a black cloud was swelling up. It licked up stars from the sky and extinguished the rising sun. Darkness was plastered all over the treetops. The cautious cries of birds got tangled up in a thicket. I locked the front door with a long key that I wore around my neck. My parents made me wear this noose, afraid that I, being a total klutz that I am, could lose the key otherwise. The wind whizzed on the other side of the gate. It invited me into my new life, towards dubious adventures, and tagged alone like an old buddy, pushing me in the back. Wide shadows that pines threw out covered a third of the clearing. Upon reaching the edge of the forest, I hid my nose in the coat's collar. A klutz is like you're clumsy. If you know what clumsy, it means you're like clumsy. You trip and fall a lot, or you would forget your keys, or you don't know where you put your wallet at. You know, stuff like that. If that clears it up anyway. I was squeezing through the thin fire break, my hair ruffled up and my back hunched over. Tall trees stood on both sides of the tiny trail. The snowy blanket rustled under my feet, and the canopy of intertwined branches above my head cut me off from the already sparse starlight. The night had no plans of moving away from the forest. In the darkness, trees reminded me of shaggy old women that smelled of burial earth. I don't think klutz is Yiddish. I don't know. I've just known the word klutz as being like clumsy. Could be, though. In the darkness, trees remind me of shaggy women. Okay, I already said that. Their trunks turned into cracked, wrinkled faces with holes in the middle of their as their mouths. If I lost focus even for a minute, mold-covered witches would drag me into the forest's depths. Then my parents would be walking around these parts, screaming my name. But the dead can't answer the living. Oh, Grandma? Hello? Or can they? A sense of panic was growing in my chest. I was fine with Dad carrying me into the school in his hands by now. If it saved me from watching the darkness rise up in the ravines like black dough. It felt like someone jumped into the bushes behind me, so I turned around. As soon as I started walking faster, I hear the snow squeak behind me. The forest took a deep breath with its giant lungs. The windfall cracked. The wind and the birds were left behind in the field now. Now I could only hear the forest creak. I walked, listening closely, and the unseen presence grew stronger, as if someone was following me, trying to match the pace of my footsteps. I turned my head so fast it made my neck crunch. A tiny trail behind me disappeared into the darkness. Tree branches overlapped, forming a natural tunnel. Who's there? The question escaped my lips and dissolved into the unending creaking sound of the wooden idols, the pines around me. Why did I think going through the forest alone was such a good idea? I'm either going mad, or someone has intentionally lured me away from my home. Distant lights granted me a smidgen of hope. A country road! I ran there as fast as I could, as if afraid that the trail would shrink. Clawed hands will grip me by the shoulders, turn me around, and make me look at the face of hungry forest denizens. In the end, nobody stopped me. I almost flew to the decrepit wood bridge, disbelieving my luck. The bridge's supports bathed in a spring, tarry and ice cold. I put my hands on my knees and looked up at the forest, then snorted, trying to calm my breathing. The thicket was pretending to be asleep. It looked peaceful. Lifeless. The remaining part of my commute lied through a snow-laden road, illuminated by sparse lamplights. I chased away bad thoughts and ran as fast as I could from one circle of light to another, seeking protection from electric lamps. Just like that game where you need to be the first to proclaim, "I'm protected." It's just in this case that protection was flimsy at best, the darkness writhing outside its bounds. I noticed something remarkably eerie. In a place where the light from an inclined lamp couldn't reach, a hairy, crooked shadow came alive with a guttural roar. It almost felt like its features deterred light. Its unnatural pose instilled fear. My eyes almost popped out of the sockets as I stood there, blinking, trying to chase away that illusion. But the shadow didn't disappear and got even closer. My insides were gripped by horror. I stepped back and almost fell into a snow pile. The black silhouette, on the other hand, straightened up and addressed me in a sweet voice. "Sneaking around, huh? Trying to steal my soul?" Words got stuck in my throat. Who could be talking in such silky voice here, between the forest and the dormant village? "Will you say something, dummy? The cat got your tongue? Alright, I'll bite off your nose then. That'll teach you not to poke it in places that don't belong." A girl stood before me, judging from the voice and the silhouette. "Brother, that looks like a wolf. I'm sorry to say, but I couldn't even reprimand myself for getting scared by a girl before noticing a gaping mouth under her hood with something dangerously shiny inside. I was stunned. What the heck? From the cavity of her hood, a frighteningly real fox face was staring straight at me. It's just her jaws weren't moving and her eyes weren't blinking. A mask! It's just a girl with a fox mask on. At least I wanted to think that. After a surprise like that, a nervous smile involuntarily crept onto my face. I was just going to school and then you... What about me? Never seen a fox feeding a dog? And indeed, there was a small dog circling the girl's legs, One of the strays that were chasing me yesterday, probably. Sorry, I didn't mean to. After hearing my voice, the dog whimpered, lowered its ears, sniffed me out, and then started wagging its tail. I guess I still smelled of bologna that I ate for breakfast. I was shifting my gaze back and forth from the dog to the girl. She didn't seem scary anymore, just weird. So, you didn't mean to, huh? What's your name? I'm Anton. And you? And I'm not. Hehehe. She's weird. Definitely has a couple loose screws. But she has a nice voice. My astonishment has turned into a mix of happiness and relief. This girl I didn't know was definitely human, if a bit eccentric. I was also a bit angry at myself. The foxy girl was walking through the darkness without problem, and I shuddered from every little sound. I could just walk away, but this girl had piqued my interest. The next time a police officer asks me about friends at the new place, I'll tell him I befriended a talking fox. Do you live around here? In the village? The fox giggled and purred. She spun around so hard, the hem of her coat lifted up. No, dummy. Foxes don't live in villages. So you live in the forest then? Have you been living under a rock? It's obvious that foxes can't survive anywhere near humans, as long as they're foxes. Her jokes were also weird. Just like her carnival mask, paper mache with fur glued to it. A dog reminded us of its existence with a loud bark. I unfastened my backpack. Dad would sometimes throw food in there without my knowledge, cookies, apples, or even my favorite crab stick. He called it a gift from the bunny. The stray strolled towards me with mincing footsteps, with a pleading look in its eyes. The fox did definitely treat it to something, but it was probably still hungry. Why are you dressed like this so early in the morning? Going to a costume party? The girl shrugged, throwing silvery snowflakes off her nose, and her human form along with them, turning into a genuine beast, a real fox, agile, cunning, dangerous. A moment of hesitation and you'll be ripped to shreds. She'll tear you up and gulp you down without breaking a sweat. I couldn't help but just stand there as a stump. Until I heard her calm, melodic laughter, hidden underneath a beastly mask. That was a creepy laugh, girl. I wish you could have seen your own mask, sweetie. Did she say sweetie? I got embarrassed, went red up to my hair roots. We'd seen a fox in a zoo once when we went there with Dad, but it had patchy fur, was gray and skinny. But this girl was a fiery color and furry, just like the fairy tales. I was rummaging through my backpack. My fingers that were searching for the dog's treats stumbled upon some soft, crumpled object. You'll see. The real beasts will wake up soon. You should ask them where they got their human faces. The girl's shadow was dancing in the lamp's light. The dog yapped in agreement. I freaked out and dropped my findings in the snow without getting a proper chance to examine it. Cold wind instantly covered the hole it created with the snow. The dog rushed to dig it out, wanting to get its treat. And the fox just snorted. Now, I was so embarrassed I wanted to sink through the snow. It was still dark outside of the electric circle. On the contrary, the darkness seemed even more thick. All neighboring houses were sleeping deeply in its inkiness. I did my best to continue the conversation with a weird girl I didn't know. So, are you going to school? Oh my, you're a real dummy. Don't you get it? Well, I was trying to be friendly, but she can't stop mocking me. Calling me a dummy and all. Oh, don't get butthurt, Anton. You're good. I should have just moved along without paying any attention to this weirdo and her stupid dog. Why are you so mean? Don't answer if you don't want to. It's not like I care. Still, something froze me in place, tugged me towards the dark figure. A mysterious appearance, her voice that was velvety and just languid enough. I was intrigued and excited. I watched her as people watch fires burn. Oh, stop pouting. Look here. Zolka took a liking to you. The dog was digging through the snow with sharp movements, snoring loudly. The fox turned around and looked at the windows of a nearby house. At its timbered front through the white mist, the tip of her fake nose was shining under the lamp's light. And maybe someone else too. I went red again like a boiled crayfish this time. Is she talking about herself or someone else? Anton, don't be a dummy. She's saying she likes you. I hoped that the semi-dark would be able to hide my embarrassment from the girl. I cleared my throat before asking, And who's that person? I waited, counting my heartbeat. The fox didn't reply. Her sly stare was scanning the frosty patterns of someone's windows. She was reading them like a glass book. I wonder what she can see through those winter paintings. The stray stopped rummaging through the snow. It ran to me, holding an object in her jaws. A mitten. Could it be the one I found in the forest? What was it doing here? When I looked closer, I realized it was just my mitten. Maybe Mom stuffed it in there when I was asleep? A certain missing boy immediately came to mind. Hey, do you know anything about Vova? I imagined the scene, silhouettes dancing in the clearing. The dance on the night when Vova had disappeared. A boy who, when found, can provide a big reward and maybe save my family. I remember my birthday when our parents promised to take me and Olya to Disneyland in Paris. But instead of a long-anticipated gift, they gave me a simple brick game console. Visibly embarrassed. I was crying my eyes out back then, demanding to take me to the promised amusement park. That was the first time when Mom and Dad had a big fight. My greediness shattered their relationship. Okay, so Anton is just blaming himself for his parents' bad relationship. If only I could fix everything, gather everybody I love and take them to Disneyland. On the night Vova had disappeared, I thought I saw someone looking like you dancing under my window. It couldn't be true, but I felt like her mask became even more sly. The fox was sniffing me out. Oh, that got you worried? For yourself or for someone else? Olya! As soon as I thought about my sister, my chest tightened and cold sweat streamed down my spine. Well then, listen closely, a boy named Anton. This is a big and scary forest. The fox girl stepped forward menacingly. And I'm not its only tenant. The other beasts already know about you. Beware. We'll come again tonight. I shouldn't have talked to this evil child form, I thought, panicking. When you and your parents will be fast asleep, we'll sneak really close and dance. Macarena! Huh? Hey, Macarena! Look at you, your mouth is agape, Atasha. And Tasha. He saw me near his window at night. Yeah, right. Are you, by chance, a dimwit? Nobody would let me go outside that late. Children go missing here, you know. I touched the plastic frame of my glasses, puzzled by her silly joke. She got me scared to death. Hey, why don't you stop fondling your glasses? I was also nearsighted once. Listen to me and maybe you'll become smarter. Remember, what do they call foxes? Remember what do they call foxes? Cunning? My words seemed to hurt her. Hey, what did you... sorry. Her laughter was akin to a jingle of a pair of silver bells. Just pulling your leg. Of course we're cunning. If you're agile and brave enough to befriend a cunning fox, I'll help look for your Vova. There's a reason why you're doing it, right? I shrugged in reply. Her insight was alarming. I know why children have been swarming our forest recently. Sometimes you can't find a lot of interesting stuff there. One day, I saw a huge pile of candy once, and I swam in it until my jaws cramped. A pile of candy? I couldn't deduce whether she believed in what she was saying from the tone of her voice. I showed her another smile of fake one this time. Boo, so wary. Well, what will you say to this, then? She held out her hand in a furry mitten. There was an assortment of sweets in her palm. In the city where I used to live, sweets like these were sold at markets or at kiosks. I saw my favorite bubble gum in a vivid wrapper amongst the tasty treasure. A familiar name was on it. Turbo. A triangular fox face poked her nose towards me. Take some. My pockets are full of these. I feel like this person is trying to kidnap me. I mean, why refuse it, right? And I mean, it's not like drugs, right? It's just candy. But it's just if I want to be their friend, I guess. I guess friends are always good. Let's take it. I accept the treat and catching a whiff of the girl's smell. Fur, fireworks, and citrus, the smell of holidays. I mean, she's not really a stranger if she introduced herself, right? She's not that creepy. My fingers tingled while I was carefully unwrapping the gum. Peachy aroma entered my nostrils and something else, something unfamiliar but pleasant. The fruity cube ended up in my mouth. I mean, where else would it end up? I started moving my molars, chewing the gum. I don't need the, explanation of how you're chewing the gum. I'm sorry, Anton, but it tasted like your usual Turkish gum, only my tongue went a bit numb. I couldn't believe my luck after opening the insert. I looked at the Mercedes-Benz, an extremely rare and hence desirable collector's item for any boy from my previous neighborhood. My heart skipped a beat. I was barely able to tear my eyes off the insert, still stunned. This is... Now do you see what can be found in the forest? A Mercedes-Benz? There's a Mercedes in the forest? Still, I wouldn't go in there alone if I were you. You get so flustered over simple bubblegum after all. Imagine what would happen if you find a travel case worth of these. I'm sure it'll surely blow your mind. Unusual treats, just like everything else about her. I carefully hid the insert in my bag as if I was putting a rare butterfly in a can. The fox giggled. This is not how things are supposed to go on a Monday morning. Who are you? I refrained from asking that question. She wouldn't answer anyway, or she'll just lie. I really wanted to see what's behind her mask. I was becoming more and more sure that underneath it wasn't a simple young girl. What if Vova also found a snow pile with sweets and is now rolling in it? Oh, she's gonna kidnap me. Actually, what if he decided to stay in the forest? He must be so cold without his second mitten then. How did she know? The wind caught her words like smoke from a fire and carried them deep into the darkness, into the creepy thicket. The trees behind me creaked with their bony branches. Or what if something happened to him along the way? Something terrible. The forest reacted to her words, became alive. It sniffed me out, perking up its ears, just like a curious beast. The fox girl pierced me with her eyes again. Wild beasts? You find that scary? Well, I don't know. He doesn't know! Oh my, have I befriended a dunce? I didn't like being called a dunce, yet being friends with her sounded nice. My grades are good. Really now. Will you come with me? Good grades, Anton. We'll find your Vova, and you'll be able to ask him what he found deep in the forest. As long as you're with me, nothing can hurt you in the forest. You'll see. Worms of worry writhed in my belly. Better run, whispered my mind. I don't believe you. Do you take me for a liar? Whatever, you're just like everybody else. Oh wait, whatever, you're just like everybody else. The girl sounded hurt, although I didn't know if she was genuine about it. She turned around as if she had immediately lost all interest in me. The gum felt bitter now. I remember my dad's favorite saying, "Where are your manners, son?" Indeed, this fox was kind to me. Please don't get mad. Foxes can also be nice, like in fairy tales. I just need to know what kind of fox you are. The girl giggled, hiding the nose of her mask in her hands. Then follow me into the forest and you'll get to know me. But not right now, when it gets bright. I mean, your whole body is shaking, you poor thing. I don't want you to get a stroke. Hey, let me accompany you to school. After hearing this, the dog barked in agreement and stopped messing with the mitten. I leaned in to grab the piece of handwear and almost ran away from me. That almost ran away from me. Well, if we're going in the same direction... He went towards the school and the lost dawn. Here and there, the lights came on in the windows of houses we passed, and if their inhabitants were sending us warning signs, as if inhabitants were sending us warning signs. Silhouettes lurked behind curtains, dogs let out occasional barks, spirals of gray smoke rose from chimneys, TVs bustled, and dishes clanged in kitchens. We watched the village slowly rise from its slumber, while carefully treading the snowy wheeled trails. I walked in the left one, and she took the right one. The dog was following right behind us. I expect the fox to bring up something weird again, but she stayed silent all the way to school, as if playing with me some game only she was privy to. She would only giggle from time to time when the dog sneezed from the snowflakes or fell on its nose. I was the first to break the silence. So, what's your name? Here it comes. Names, names, names. You people always need to put labels on everything. What name would you give to a fox like me? I don't know. Foxy? But I've read about Elisa the fox. You know what? You know what? I don't mind that. I'll be Elisa. I couldn't understand if she was joking or not. I turned around as if looking for an answer from the dog, from the dark sky devoid of dawn. My silent questions were left unanswered. The school's outline was already in our sight. A giant brick box stuck in the endless night. Lights in its windows didn't bode well for me. The Warren trees were guarding the school. That was loud. Screams, childish laughter, and someone whistling tore up the silence. I went here with my mom when we just moved into the place. Just moved, and the place looked cozy at the time. Empty corridors that smelled of polished, puffy snow outside. The second time, I came alone to get the books and just kept on imagining my peers rolling down the railings, grade schoolers running into the library, and teachers marching down the corridor with the air of self-importance around them. High schoolers were smoking at the entrance, in track pants and wool caps perched on their foreheads. Their appearances destroyed the last of hopes for a cozy school. Their stingy eyes and the teeth yellow from nicotine. Their smirks, all of it had the same gloomy effect as the cloudy winter morning. Absorbed by my thoughts, I completely forgot about my companion. I'll wait for you back at the backyard after school. Near the hanged man. Near what? She just ignored my question. Don't be late. I hesitated. Blowing hot and cold again. Mom always said that when I would have trouble choosing between two options. Thinking about Mom helped me reply. I'm going straight home after school. Well, Antasha, I'm going to let you off the hook. But the others will creep up to you with their smiles and sink their teeth into you. Won't be able to shake them off as easily. Remember my words. The fox opened her mouth with a wide yawn. What kind of trick is this? Someone running in the distance called out my name. I instinctively turned around. A huge snowball whizzed past my shoulder and hit the dog. Don't hit the dog! Yo, whoever threw that, I'm about to beat him up. It whimpered and ran towards the spring. The darkness devoured it. The fox girl was also nowhere to be seen. She dissolved into the frosty air. Or was she hiding in my shadow? I gulped and swallowed the gum. Unlucky. Skill issue. After taking a deep breath, I went towards the school, towards the cutlets and dough, towards the light raining down onto the snow. Bars. A tall man was standing near the gate, puffing out clouds of smoke into the wind. He didn't look like a teacher. Was he a PE guy, maybe? I carefully studied his face, that looked like it was cut from a piece of granite, and his hair lip that was holding down a cigarette. He was playing around with his car keys and staring back at us. The light from the cigarette was reflected in his eyes that were sitting deep in his eye sockets. I froze in place. The hulking man lazily tore off his eyes from us and walked towards the road. Okay, so that was just a random guy. Wait, what? Whose nest is this, I wonder? A thieving magpie? Then it probably has all sorts of shiny things in it. Pieces of colorful glass, bottle caps, polished coins, or child braces. What? Child braces? Okay, anything else I can click on? Oh, there was a fresh-looking Volga parked nearby with one of its front wheels perched up with the icy curb. Black like Soothe. As if it was straight out of the horror story Dad loved to tell me when we hid in the attic during a thunderstorm. I remember him always wearing a sad smile while mentioning the black car that snatched children. He would say, "It looks like a funeral car on the inside, white curtains and all. And it has DSC on the license plate. Do you know what that means? Death to Soviet children." Funny. I was born in the USSR too. Okay. Is there anything else that I can glance at? I want to get everything. Oh, that was it. Okay. A buzzing crowd of upperclassmen with the winter hats tipped to the side. I better not draw their attention. Okay. Just go to class, Anton. You'll be fine. You'll be fine, buddy. I could hear muffled voices behind the doors, saw blinking lamps. Darkness creeped along the windows, and it felt like the school was drifting in open space like a lonely, lost spaceship. After going up to the second floor, I noticed a crowd around the notice board. Everyone was taking part in a lively discussion. I moved closer and took a look at something everyone was interested in through the wall of backpacks. There was a piece of paper with something printed on it glued to the left of the notice board. Before I read that, I want to look and see what I can do. Okay, there's nothing. Okay. Attention, child missing. Vova Matyukin. 10 years old. 10 years old, grade 4. He left his home on January the 5th around 1600 and never returned. Was last seen at the bridge over the Smorodina River. He was wearing an orange coat with a hood, a black wool cap, a scarf, and mittens with green stripes. Might have had a plastic toy gun on him. Features: 142 centimeters tall, skinny, brown hair, and green eyes. Please call the numbers if you have any information on Vova's whereabouts. Child missing. Okay, yeah. On the grainy print, Vova looked dead, with a black mouth and dark, empty eye sockets. Could it be that the darkness dwelling deep in the forest invaded his pores and mutilated his face? Plastic toy gun couldn't protect him from the whispering branches and the howling wind. Whispering branches, sorry. Empty eyes of the lost boy pierced through my soul, as if pleading. Unable to meet his stare, I turned around and rushed towards the window, took a seat in the windowsill. The corridor was slowly filling with children in groups of few. Nobody paid me any mind. In the darkness of school toilets, child's voices were hammering a nursery rhyme. Okay. For the fox and for the bear, bunny tasty meals prepare. I turned my head towards them, trying to get a better look at their features, but then my attention was stolen by a loud clicking sound. A female teacher marched down the corridor with her chin raised up high. Her heels were hitting the floor like miniature hooves. A girl was trailing her every step. She was looking pompous, stomping along the way and whispering in secret in her friend's ear. She was probably a class rep since she was carrying the attendance register book. Katerina, take this, please. The teacher opened the classroom door and the crowd of children swarmed in, screaming and pushing. Out of all of them, a tall, redheaded fat boy caught my attention. His face was full of blisters. He looked like the insides... he looked like the insides of a pomegranate. That's so mean. He's just a kid. He's just a kid, and you're making fun of him, Anton. You don't want to be made fun of. A bad feeling risen up the hair on the back of my head. I've seen boys like him before. Unsettled eyes, cackling laughter. The girl, who was a smaller copy of the teacher, warned the boy with a wave of her hand and entered the room through the clearing in the crowd. Some other guys stood in the way of the crowd, and the redhead immediately shoved him. Move your legs, moron. Okay, okay, we can make fun of this guy. He's what we call a jerk. He's a really not nice guy. The boy flew headfirst, flailing his hands, trying to keep his balance. The fatso burst out laughing, and a couple of kids joined his nasty cackling. Their laughter sounded like someone was snipping with huge garden scissors. The classroom sucked all the kids in. The corridor stood empty. I wanted to grow roots and stay on the windowsill. Just a handful of lampposts outside were battling the darkness, writhing like fluorescent fish in the black ocean. Maybe I could still run away. Go outside, dissolve in the dark. I imagine myself running through snow, how it squeaks under my boots, and how I'm becoming lighter and lighter with every step. Excuse you, that was loud. The ringer's trill blew that illusion away. I tore myself from the window with great effort, then took a couple of breaths, trying to at least calm down my mad pulse, and entered the classroom. Yeah, Anton, just do your schoolwork, man. The prim teacher looked at me over the frame of her glasses, clearly annoyed. I'm the transfer student. I was told to come here. The snowy forest trail was winding in front of my eyes. The pines rustled, but it didn't sound predatory anymore. She buried herself in the register and flicked through the pages. Your last name? Petrov. Huh? What are you mumbling there? Say it clearly. Petrov. You're not on the list. She measured me with a long and heavy stare, as if trying to see if I was lying. I wanted to sink through the floor. Hazy faces observed all of that from the left. The classroom breathed and snorted in unison, like a living organism, like a dangerous beast. Are you sure? I don't have you in my register. My knees chose the worst time to start shaking, and I felt dizzy. I clutched my fist so hard my knuckles became white. They told me to come to the classroom 204 to ask for Lilia Pavlovna, class 6C. Apparently everyone in the classroom took my words for some sort of joke because they were all laughing. What's wrong with this school? The class fell silent. The kids hid their smirks for a better occasion. Why do we hire so many interns? They all know how to put lipstick all over their bulging lips, but when it comes to real problems, I have to solve everything. How do they send you here without any proper paperwork? Ugh, we've had the same thing happen so many times already. Wait here, I'll be back. After I have a little chat with them. The teacher flew past me, mumbling something to herself in righteous anger, and I was left standing at the center of the classroom. Like a convict in front of a firing squad, I lowered my gaze, feeling the mocking stares from all around the classroom directed at me. They prickled my skin, danced on it like laser sights. Once again, I imagine running far away from this place, fighting the clawing wind, soaring high above the pines in one long jump. Okay, can Anton not space out for like 5 seconds? It seems like he needs medicine for that. Or like a therapist, maybe? But like, he literally cannot just pay attention for like a few seconds. Once again, I imagined, with the wind on my back as my only companion, the eyes from the future classmates were asking the new boy, is he one of us or an outsider? Somebody whispered something that stifled the and stifled laughter rolled throughout the classroom. Wipe the board! It was easy to suggest who was the main prankster here. Hey, Four Eyes! Are you not only blind, but also deaf? I said wipe the board! My knees weren't the only shaking part of my body anymore. Yo, if I was him, you already know I'd be flipping him off. I'd be making some trouble. I was trembling from head to toe, and I prayed for the teacher to come back sooner. My prayers were answered by the powers that be. And what should I do with you? And what should I do with you now? Where will you sit? Oh well, you could sit with Simeon, I guess. Oh, Simeon the big guy? He's alone anyway. No way. The fatso put his backpack on the seat beside him in defiance, scratched his belly, and smirked. Are you back to your old tricks? Should I call your grandma here once again? The classroom went silent. And what's she gonna do? I'll be the one to do something first, or something if she doesn't. Put away your backpack now. Simeon didn't move a muscle. He started studying the portraits of writers on the wall, looking bored. I needed to do something to resolve this somehow, to save myself. I cleared my throat and continued in a stifled voice that sounded nothing like me. I can sit in the last row. I think there's a free seat. The teacher snorted loudly. She looked at me and then Simeon then back at me. Fine. Go there for now. And you, Bobberin, I'll have a talk with you later. Come to me after class. You'll be on cleaning duty. Got it? Simeon forced out a twisted smile. Juicy pimples were growing on the top of his nose, ripe for the taking. Bro, I don't like this guy. I walked carefully, afraid to stumble and fall, causing another outburst of laughter from everybody. I took my seat at the back, at the last table, where I met with a pile of old posters. The outcast took the seats, and the class was ready to start. Now this is settled. Let's start the class. Today's theme is traditions of Russian and international literature in Zonko's Don't Lie. The fatso turned to me. His stare informed me of the coming days, weeks, and months of bullying. I've got my eyes on you, said his watery look. I don't care if you have your eyes on me. Take a picture, it lasts longer. After just a couple of periods, I'd already noticed a huge yellow spit stain in my notebook. Ew. Then at the cafeteria, this Simeon accidentally spilled a glass of compote on me. And then he flailed his hands around after exiting the toilet so some of the liquid from his hands would get on me. Just before the final period for today, Simeon pushed me into a buzzing crowd of girls from our class. Oh no. They made way, cursing, but I couldn't hold my balance and ended up ramming my face into the girl I took for the class rep before, right in her chest. Ow! That's Katya? Yo, it's Katya. I immediately stepped back, dying from embarrassment. I'm sorry, are you alright? Then she suddenly put her hands on her hips. Will you look at him? Groping me in front of everyone? I'll tell my mom. They'll expel you, pervert. There was some sort of sadistic pleasure in her eyes, if she was a child who was about to to put a lit up match to the Schaefer beetle. I didn't mean to. He pushed me. We all saw that, you know, no blind among us. Among us? Among us? She stared at my glasses while showing me a creepy smile. I started to fume on the inside, but Simeon's laughter cooled my head. I pushed you? You sure? He swaggered up to me, enveloping me in the smell of sunflower seeds and rotting teeth, and then pushed me to the ground. Like this, huh? What you gonna do now? The bully towered over me as if saying, come on, hit me. Let's see you try. Oh, I'm gonna fight this guy. I'm not gonna endure it. Fight him. Listen, you. My throat went dry, my lips were moving on their own, my voice was akin to a stifled squeal. Simeon wore a mocking smile. Go on, Four Eyes. Why did you stop? We're all waiting. If you ever touch me again. Simeon slowly stuck out a finger and poked my forehead. I did, so what? I did, so what? If you ever do it again? Here. Once more. And again. And again. And again. He was poking me with his finger so hard that my head tilted backwards. I must not cry, or I'll be done for. What will a wimp like you do to me? My vision went blurry. My soles tore off from the floor. I rushed forward and threw a random punch without looking. Yeah! Yes! What I saw when I opened my eyes was beautiful and horrifying at the same time. Get him! Get him, boy! Simeon was holding his ear and blinking in amazement. Was I the first person to rebel against his absolute rule? I need to run, but I was already surrounded by his cronies. Lilia Pavlovna Petrov just hit Bobarin. What? Why are they all against me? Is this really how bullying goes? Like, when I was bullied in school, this isn't how it went. This seems weird. Simeon's cheeks grew even redder and his pimples even whiter, like the heads of larvae. But a smile flashed on his face that he only noticed among his comrades. That was only noticed among his comrades. He got really close to me. The smell of rotten teeth washed over me. You are fucking done. His voice was evil and dangerous, like someone tore off the lid of a kettle with boiling fat. I was waiting to get hit, counting the thumps of my heart and guessing where his fist would go. The solar plexus, the jaw, the nose. But he just turned around and walked off. That's right. Do that. A thought, cold and sober and extremely rational, popped up in my head. I'm going to get killed today. Now, I was late to leave the school after classes on purpose. Simeon didn't attend last period, so I was hopeful. What if he decided to dodge the cleaning duty and run home, forgetting all about me? I heaved a sigh of relief, like someone on death row whose execution was delayed by a day. But I didn't let myself forget his tone, his vengeful gaze, and his scary, electrified smirk. While the other students were leaving the school, laughing loudly, I was pretending to skim through my books near a window. I was staring outside, nervous. Yo, Anton, let me tell you something. He tries to punch you, you punch back, brother. Okay, he's not gonna kill you. Because if he comes up to you, you just start swinging, brother. I was staring outside, nervous. Simeon was nowhere to be found in the front yard or near the school gate. I didn't really believe I was this lucky, so I decided to be extra cautious and stayed for some more time in the corridor that was gradually getting less crowded. All of the bustle moved to the first floor. There was a skeleton peeking out of the biology classroom. Some jokester put a cap with the American condor on its head. The sound of running water was coming from the bathroom. I was the only person left in the whole school. I'm not alone. A sudden thought came to mind. I remembered the missing boy. His portrait was on the notice board near the schedule. I remembered his smile, him looking at me, and the fact that he's most likely already dead. Hello? I shuddered and turned around. Oh. At first, my eyes stumbled upon the black violin case. Then I noticed a girl from my class was holding it. Is this the love interest? She sat in the first row of the second column. I could swear I caught her looking at me a couple of times. And I was sneaking glances at her myself. Sometimes it just feels nice to look at something pretty. The spring, the sky, or a girl that's not in the crowd that laughs at Simeon's jokes. And she wasn't whispering the dirty laundry of other people to Katya. She spent all the breaks just like me, staying in the classroom or looking in the window or drawing something in her green notebook. Hello. I turned red and pretended I was studying the pattern on the wooden floor. He just goes, "Oh, yeah. That's a wooden floor." It's cool the way you hit him. It was an accident, almost. I started shoving books in my backpack to at least put something in my hands. Simeon wasn't like that before. He also transferred here just recently. His grandma told me it almost felt like he went mad. Even the upperclassmen fear Simeon, did you know? But you're different. You're brave. I mumbled in reply. Yeah, me? Yeah, right, me? Brave? A hero that has been standing around in the hallway to avoid a beating? The girl looked at me with her clear, attentive eyes. Do you live over the river? In that wooden house? Yeah. Must be scary living there. And you also have to cross the forest. I wouldn't be able to do that. I shivered at the mention of the forest. I thought the intertwining branches of a snake-like trail of endless darkness that spread like mold amongst the crooked trees. So I straight up lied. It's not that scary. Oh, big man Anton over here. What's so scary about it for you? She smiled after a brief pause, as if brushing off a daydream. Well, actually, never mind. My name is, Paulina, by the way. And I'm Anton. I already know that. Hey, Anton. She stumbled as if trying to decide whether she should continue. What are you doing after school? My chest felt prickly after her innocent question, yet somehow it felt pleasant. Nothing much. I stumbled and didn't finish my sentence. What? Where'd she go? Oh, wait. Is she the fox girl? No. Elisa's predatory smile flashed in front of my eyes. Her playful eyes in the slits of the mask were probably just a product of my imagination, though. What if the fox girl is waiting for me after school? Or was it another of her weird jokes? I wonder if she's hiding a big red tail under her coat. I suddenly got covered with beads of sweat, like after a PE class. I wanted to take a shower, as if just thinking of the foxy girl made me dirty, soiled my clothes, lured me into the forest's embrace. No, talk to this girl that's in front of you right now, man. You're spitting Riz right now. You're the Riz master, brother. I have a violin lesson, and then I'll be free. My grandpa hired a private tutor. Our music teacher is a violinist, and he doesn't have anyone to teach, except for me. She waved her free hand in the air, imitating the movement of a bow on violin strings. I could almost hear the music. It chased Elisa out of my head. I looked at Paulina's lips, catching every word, and was frozen from the unusual sensations. They were warm, soothing, and tingly. It felt like I was very small, and the feelings were immense, and they couldn't fit inside me. They say there's a serial killer on the loose in the village. Normally, Grandpa would escort me from home from school, but he's been sick lately. I snuck a glance at Vova's photo. His eyes were studying me. His lips were wearing black lipstick, just like the portrait on a gravestone. I mean, I'm not a coward, it's just I think I'll be safer with you. Oh, this is so cute! Anton! She likes you! Will you go home with me, Anton? There it was. Finally, everything I read about in the adventure books, everything that I dreamt about was seeping into my life. A mysterious crime, a beautiful stranger, and a heroic duel. A duel. Thinking of Simeon instantly sobered me up, returning me back to Earth, and it started shaking under my feet like a deck of a ship. If only I could rise to the occasion in front of Paulinus. Because no matter how brave I was trying to act, it was obvious for both of us that I wouldn't be able to stand a chance against a big guy like that. Put up a fight, Anton. You just put up as good of a fight as you can. And him knocking me out won't even be the worst of it. The worst part is Paulina will see all of it, and she'll laugh at me like everyone else. No. I don't need anybody to see me in such a shameful state. I doubt I'll be able to today. You know, Simeon is waiting for me outside. I need to deal with him one-on-one like a man. Nonsense. Paulina brushed off some hair off her forehead, and I sensed a weak aroma of blackberry. Paulina was like water when you were thirsty. You gulp it down and still wanted more. I remember the summer evenings at the country house, the fire's pungent smoke, the berries hanging over the fence from the neighbors, and a soft cover of pine needles under my soles. Those few peaceful days when I felt completely safe. My mom resting in the hammock, my dad putting meat on a skewer. Could I have foreseen the upcoming catastrophe in the crackle of the coals, in our parents' laughs, in the smell of the fleeting July? Could I have seen how fragile that world was? Do you really think that savage will give you a fair fight? He'll just swarm you with his friends without giving you a chance to catch a breath. Paulina suddenly flashed a devious smile. But if we go together, they will be put off. I'm not only the first violin... What? I'm not only the first violin of this village, I'm also a girl. I've heard from a delinquent I know that he'll never attack someone when there's a girl around. Can you imagine? They have this weird code of honor. A delinquent, you know, I thought. Or, a delinquent, you know, I thought. Is he better than me? Taller? More handsome? Gosh darn it, bro. They're always jump scaring me with the loud noises. Oh, I have to go to music class. She made a couple of steps and stopped. Amazing. Paulina didn't look like those beauties from the magazine posters or the actresses from the movies. Hey, my angel, how's it going? That sounds weird when I say it. Hey, Angel. I'll say hey, Angel. How's it going, Angel? We're about to finish episode 2. Or, yeah. I think we're about to finish it anyway. Welcome to the chat, though. But in the flickering light of the ceiling lamps, she looked much more alluring. Can you play anything? My parents bought me a guitar a couple of years ago. I immediately remembered my meager attempts at making music. Change. We're all waiting for change. Soy's song echoed in my thoughts, and my desire to change something. The guitar got lost somewhere, as if refusing to move the old house near the forest. I think my parents gave it away to someone that needed it more. I don't, sadly. A pity. Oh well, I'll be going. Bye. Bye, Paulina. Her shout was captured by the loud echo. Her shoes also echoed through the school hallways. Bye. I wasn't sure if Paulina heard me. I looked out the window again. The schoolyard was empty, just a couple of grade schoolers throwing snowballs at each other. Nobody who looked like the hulking simian with his cronies. This was giving me hope. What should I do? Polina could become my friend, the first one in this new place. And besides, she may be in real danger of meeting a killer, and I'll be her defender, her knight. And even though my inner voice was hesitant and whispered about running away from the killers lurking in the woods at night, Polina was worth the risk. But the red, cunning fox was also intriguing. She promised me to help look for Vova, and this will bring me a reward. More money will also guarantee peace in my family. Gifts for Olya. I imagine my sister, happy like those girls who get prizes from Suponev in the finest hour. She'll be dancing with the famous singers, maybe a new popular boys band like Emanushki International. Mom and Dad hugging in the Ostankino Pavilion. And then all of us going to Disneyland. That's nice. Oh, one second. What can I click on? Here's a mop. An abandoned zinc bucket with a rag on the bottom of it, filled to the brim with murky tap water. It reeked of salty chemicals, and the stench was so intense that I felt sick. I staggered away from it, praying that I don't meet the same fate as the person on cleaning duty. Turn me around and I'll tell you who's stupid. I bet something offensive is written on the other side. I wonder how long would Simeon keep turning it around if it fell into his hands. Wow. Yeah, roast him, bro. Simeon just got roasted. Somebody left their school shoes in the window. Judging from the size, they belong to a boy my age. Okay. Oh, wait, what? Look at this. No! No, 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 no! No, 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 no! Go back, go back, go back! No, 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 no! No, I wanted Polina! Oh, no. I wanted to go with Polina! I didn't know that was I didn't know that was a decision. No, can I go back? No. No. Okay, alright, whatever. We keep going. Just for the record, I would have went with Polina. But I bet she's gonna get kidnapped now, and I'm gonna feel bad, man. I'm gonna feel bad. I scanned my surroundings through the window in the main hall. Nobody suspicious in sight. The school doors creaked. The sound was familiar to the music from a thriller. The high note that come before an intense scene. I ran around the school corner trying to catch anyone's attention. The smell of pastry and burnt sugar wafted from the school cafeteria. I froze when I saw a silhouette in the second floor window. It must be Polina. Gliding a bow on violin strings with her head slightly tilted on the side. I wish I could hear the melody she played, but Polina was only a dark outline in the window's yellow sheet. I dragged my feet forward. I wanted to go with Polina so bad, dude. Why? The net of a football goal in the yard fluttered in the wind. The same wind that hurled small white whirlwinds through the field. Somewhere nearby, an invisible tractor was scaring away the crowd of cawing birds. The hum of its engine sounded like the howls of hungry beasts that chased me through the snowy desert. Wait, what the heck? This is the killer, isn't it? This guy that was smoking a cigarette out front? Elisa and her scary mask also came to mind. Right now, in the light of day, it was really hard to believe she was real. What did she say back then? In the backyard, near the hanged man. What does she mean by that? Look at this guy peeking. Weirdo. A forest squirrel chomping on sunflower seeds. Someone from the school is probably feeding her. Interesting. I looked at the wall. Bro, he just went away? There was a hanged man drawn under the black line of a resin. Someone played hangman here. Something was scribbled on the both sides of the man. Escape, fear, truth. Come closer, sweetheart. It took me a while to realize where the sound was coming from. My eyes strolled through the cul-de-sac at the school backyard through the windows and snow. I mean, I guess I have no other choice but to examine. One of the snow piles started trembling like a volcano before it erupts. Get out of here, dude. I'm about to... Elisa, I'm about to punch you, man. Give me your heart. In the blink of an eye, the white crust crumbled and a fox jumped out at me. She made a gracious bow, enjoying the effect her appearance had on me. The silver of the snow shined on her coat. I couldn't even imagine that thinking about girls with tails can be this. I don't know what to compare it to. Dude, Anton's becoming a furry. Anton's a furry. Confirmed. Something infectious? Toxically sweet? Fight back or your heart is in my bag. She giggled so enthusiastically that it forced me to smile. Oh, come on. I quickly rolled a ball of snow and threw it at Eliza. She tried to dodge, but it was too late. It hit her shoulder. Ah, you insolent boy. Yeah, that's me. The fox slowly backed down, trying to arm herself. You're sly, but I'm a fox. I think outside the box. Her retribution was swift. A snowball arched its way above the snowy yard and ravens flying in the air. I wanted to duck, but slipped and fell on my knees. And while I was getting up, I caught a huge chunk of snow with my face. It burned up from the cold. I swore loudly from immense disappointment, using the words I heard in Sector Gaza's song on the cassettes I hid from my parents. He said, Bliot, which, I don't know. I don't know what it means. I think it's like, the B word. I think it's, bitch, right? Oh, got you. If anybody's wondering what that means, you could just Google Translate it. Thank you for telling me though, Angel. Using the words I heard, yeah. If Dad heard this, he would definitely give me a good whipping. He had very low tolerance towards obscene words and always communicated in clear Russian. Clean Russian? I don't know. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. It can't hurt that much. She brushed off my hood as if to show compassion, took me by the elbow and helped me get up. With care uncharacteristic for a child, she took off my glasses, blew away the snowflakes that were stuck to them, and handed them back. Now we're even, Tasha. Oh, got you. Got you. Only people who were close to me called me that. And I haven't even seen her real face. Didn't know her last name. What class was she from, and if she had a real tail under her coat? Want to get ahead? We were going to look for Vova, remember? We'd better hurry before my parents start looking for me. The fox let out a lazy yawn. Parents? Don't be so boring. Let's play for a bit. You're always bored at home anyway. And how do you know that? It's not even a secret. It's always way too boring being locked up in a house full of adults. I get all jittery from both houses and parents, you see? Her furry fox brows started twitching. I faked a laugh in reply, unsure whether being able to move parts of her mask like that was genuinely funny or not. Come on, Tasha, don't be scared. I can see you want to play. And if you win... The fox girl got dangerously close to me and stood on her tiptoes, almost touching my face with her rough little nose. Playfully fires Playful fires danced deep in her eyes. She smelled nice, like berries in saccharine. Is this the smell of independence and true freedom? I mean, the kind where all you have to do in your life is run wild and eat sweets. Her whispers poured into my ears like scalding hot water. If you win, I'll be your guide. Believe me, I have lots of things to show you. We'll surely find your Vova for one. I felt as if a giant invisible spring bent inside me. My tummy hurt, but the sensation was somehow not exactly unpleasant. It was so weird. I just had a conversation with Polina, and now Elisa was going to drag me along with her. And what if I lose? I'll claw out your soul, softy. Come on, let's go. Yeah, whoever wrote this might have some furry tendencies. Maybe. Oh man, I still wanted to go for Polina and not her. She burst out laughing, whipped the hem of her coat, and ran towards the road we used to come to school in the morning. Her promise. That sounded almost like a threat. Hypnotized me. I bent down and scooped up some snow. I wish I had a device that could tell whether Elisa was joking or being serious. Or is there always a third option with people like her? Between her jokes, her laughter, and her hot breath on my ear? Oh, gosh. I wanted to win. To punish her for the lightness and freedom she possessed that was clearly too much for an average girl. When I, on the other hand, was possessed, or rather intoxicated, by the thirst for adventure, by my curiosity. Just like that time I ate the cherries from Mom's nalivka and lied down with my eyes closed while the bed was spinning underneath me. I spat and cleaned my lips. Do you want to play, little sister fox? Well then, let's play. I armed myself with a snowball and chased the fleeing fox girl. I saw a familiar street with a wooden post and didn't look scary anymore. They were just logs covered in snow. If I were to shout, the guard dogs would start barking and their owners would peek out of their windows. Elisa's small silhouette was mocking me from far away, so it was useless to try hitting her with a snowball for now. Waste of ammunition. Birches, mutilated by cold, peeked out to view along the clear road. A giant snow pile towered near one of the trees. It was probably the place where a tractor brought all the snow from the village. A whole family of foxes would fit in such a pile. No, I thought, she's the only fox around here. She's alone. She alone is already too much. My second morning acquaintance was running around near the edge of the forest, the stray dog with a mangy tail. She sniffed around the marked and naked berry bushes and ran towards the other ones. Elisa showed up from under the hill. Sulka, follow me, girl. The dog's ears perked up. It barked in agreement and followed her lead. We ran further and further, exchanging snowballs, laughing and stumbling. The winter forest towered in front of us, reaching the low clouds. We were at the edge of the shadows, bony and almost corporeal. The fox hid behind a huge pine, clearly trying to get me to shove some snow down my collar. It was a good plan, but Zolka, who was running in circles around her, gave her away. I broke off a dry branch and decided to act even trickier. I put my hat and peeked it from the side of the pine. I'll make her think that that's my head. I bit my lip to stop myself from laughing, then jumped out from the other side and performed a point-blank throw. Elisa probably cracked my plan right away, but still let me win 3-1. I was wounded in the leg, and she got shot in the chest and the stomach, losing imaginary blood in front of my eyes. I'll see you later, Mr. Sir. Thanks for tuning in, brother. I hope you have a great night. Pleading for mercy while also choking from laughter. Haha, please, mercy. Haha, I'm dying. Okay, I'll let you live. Thank you, oh valiant knight. She pretended to bow to me, then grabbed 2 handfuls of snow like a dying warrior, threw them my way in a last-ditch effort. I dodged her attack easily, laughing uncontrollably and being mad at the same time. I finished her with 2 precise shots. He'll let me live, huh? Learn me how to do it, if you're so smart. Shut up, you're already dead. Ha! When did that stop me? Let's play something more interesting. She dashed behind the trees after blowing snow in my direction. 1, 2, time to play with you. 3, 4, 5, the owl will arrive. I hesitantly moved towards the windfall. 6 on in, the wolf's gray fur will stand. I thought I was a real tail gliding across the bushes. I thought it was a real tail. I rushed to the intertwined branches that helped Elisa to hide as if something was pulling me there. I had to move them, tear them off like spiderweb. Branches sprang back in my face, but it felt like they were caressing my cheeks and not hitting them. I was sweating, but still had a lot of stamina left. I'll make sure to catch you, little fox. Elisa's voice was wandering among the windfall. 7, 8, stomp your hooves and wait. Ha ha ha. Seems like I underestimated you. I thought you were just a boy. Confident that she was behind the dry pine, I rushed to intercept. But the local acoustics tricked me. Her voice was already echoing from the other side. And you're a bunny! So nimble, so cute, haha! A snowball flew at me from the shadows, whistling near my ear. I'll show you a bunny. Yeah, do that. Show me. A bright fox fur coat flashed near a rotten stump. I rushed there, jumping over a ravine. Bunny, show yourself. Be brave. Give the beast fresh meat they crave. The furry collar that flashed from every tree was the most important thing in the world for me. My lips started trembling as if I was a cowboy that was chasing his prey. One jump and the fox was in my embrace, so smooth and desirable. Fine, fine, you win. She leaned against the scratchy bark and started puffing. Please, let's have a break. You're too fast, too strong, too tasty. What? Hello? Okay. Satisfied, I put my hands on my sides, waiting for the spoils of war from the defeated girl. What are your spoils of war? But what I got instead was a sly snowball in my smug face. The cunning fox ran away, roaring with laughter, but I wasn't even mad about it. I needed to catch up with Elisa, to tackle and subdue her, tear off the mask, and see everything. Poor little bunny jumps around in the wet pine forest, afraid of getting eaten by the big gray wolf, thinking of hot summer, keeping his ears low, sneaking glances at the hidden sky. The sky really did disappear under the trees. I moved using the barking of Zolka as a guide, since she was closely following her owner, and I was getting closer. And the same trail I imagined back at school blinked under my feet. Yeah, it does sound very cursed. It sounds like it's like put on top of itself, you know? Like her voice is put on top of itself to make it sound like cursed. It turned out that running like there's no tomorrow was easy. Faster, higher, faster. It felt like there was a well of untapped potential inside me, and I drew from it. My muscles were buzzing, my lungs felt bigger, and I felt much stronger overall. Even my vision became sharper. I saw every icy branch, every dent in the bark. Yeah, that's how furry sounds. Yeah. Something colorful was lying near the bushes, a piece of clothing. Another colorful spot to the right. Elisa was choosing her clothes, losing her clothes on the run, like shedding her skin. I also used my teeth to take off my mittens, excited by all that. I'll get naked and feel the wind to the last drop. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? I don't like this. Faster. I reached out to take off my hat to throw everything that stops me from running wild in this endless forest. The backpack slowed me down, so I threw it in the snow along with all the pins that were inside, with all the notebooks, all my drawings, all the sidelines, and a dinosaur for Olya. Dude, stop getting naked. That's weird. Olya. Suddenly a clear picture appeared in my mind. My sister standing still near a window, basking in the dusking sun. Her small childish palms are pressed to the glass, leaving marks where they warmed it up. She could warm up the whole world like that. She's looking at the taiga and saying my name. Tasha! I stopped, took a deep breath, and realized how rash and stupid I was. Trying to undress in the middle of a forest while chasing a fox? Yeah. I guess that's how they get you. That's how they get you. They take you in the forest and they say, they're like, catch me, and then you're like, I feel like getting naked. I guess that's how it works. I returned to get my backpack as if it was part of me being, part of my being I dropped. I remembered again how my sister didn't like to be left home alone, how she asked me to come home faster. What kind of brother am I, running in the forest that I used to scare my sister with? I'm having fun while she's not even allowed over the doorstep. Sit in your cage, Olya, and watch the same cartoons over and over. Tasha! Yes, Olya? Tasha, where are you? What? Where are you hopping to, fucker? What? Oh, come on. What? What is this? From the darkness behind the ponds, just like a caveman from the cave, appeared smirking Simeon with a bunch of his cronies. Yo! Antashka! Hehe, I thought you could slip away, huh? Check out this four-eyed freak, eh? They surrounded me like a carnivorous pride, making me step back. The smell of sweat and tobacco attacked my nostrils. The inside of my mouth felt salty as if I licked a battery. Elisa! The name of my companion turned into a stifled cough. Pines were swaying back and forth like solemn guardians. I was frantically looking everywhere. I dreamt of finding that fox amongst the trees, expected her to come to my rescue, but only the wind replied to my pleas. Where's Elisa? What did you do to her? I shuddered after hearing my own voice. It sounded unnatural, rough, and scary. Who the fuck's Elisa? Did you hit your head? Whatever. We'll fix you right up. Fatso spit through the gap in his teeth and pushed me so hard that I hit my back against a tree. So, feeling better now? It can't be. Did Elisa really lure me into this trap? To these bastards? No, I cannot believe this. Looky here, guys. He's not so brave here compared to the school. A total wimp, huh? You fucked with the wrong guy, transfer student. Simeon was moving towards me, readying his fist. Oh, here she is! In that moment, the other delinquent in track pants made a loud whistle, and the hulking boy lowered his hand. Wait, what? It was unexpected. Seems like, Baburin wasn't the leader of this gang. What? In reality, they were all listening to the boy who was looking like a small carnivore with a very strong, sharp teeth. Probably decided to have some fun at my expense first. Oh, I can't. Do I say that? Can I say that? I don't think I can. Hey, gay person, Junior. Is this your, Elisa? Only then I noticed Zolka behind my legs, trembling from the cold, snow plastered all over its fur. The delinquent scattered in front of the dog and beckoned it with his hand. Oh my. Elisa, come here, you flea-ridden bitch. The others let out nasty laughs. Don't hurt the dog or I swear I will kill each and every one of you. The dog's ears perked up and she started to carefully moving closer. Yeah, come here. I've got something for you. Oh, the dog didn't even have a chance to sniff him when this animal abuser caught it by the ear and kicked it right under the tail so hard it flew into the nearest snow pile, squealing. Oh my god, I'm so mad. I'm so upset. The whole gang burst out laughing and my heart got encrusted in ice. Even the birds that were perched up on the trees let out frightful caws. At the edge of my vision, I saw something flashing in the illusory twilight of the sleeping forest. Or was that just bushes moving their icy branches in the wind? Ronka, it won't be able to shit after this. Let me kick the fucking thing one more time. 2 negatives will make a positive. No! But the stray was already nowhere to be seen. What, are you an idiot? Go and show the Four Eyes his place. In a way he'll understand. Yeah, he fucking owes you. The wimp whacked you in front of the whole class. Sure thing. Punch him! Simeon brought a sizable signet ring with some geometric shapes carved in it up to my face. In a moment, I'll hit your gay face so hard, it'll leave a mark for the rest of your life. Where did all of my inner strength and bravery go? Stop! A wheezy whisper left my lips, and head tilted forward, hitting Simeon's fist. Red sparks flew from my eyes. Oh my god. Biasha, give me a hand. Simeon gave me a rough push towards the bastard with the slanting eyes, and he tripped me. I felt a sharp crust of ice, and the fatso stepped on my hand, preventing me from getting up. A painful groan escaped my throat. Did you hear him whimper? Is he actually gay or something? I started to lose breath from anger and resentment. The pain was growing. My ear was hot and pulsating pain was shooting through it like it was cut off and a ball of nettle was sewn in its place. Why so silent, Antoshka? Come on, tell us! Are you gay? At this moment, I felt pure, unbridled rage. The amalgamation of my fear. Like the sprout's ink, it rose up from the depths of my mind, filling all my thoughts. Morons! Did you know that my dad is also gay? Is also gay? Simeon burst out laughing. This became the last straw. Fear and anger were grappled inside me like a mad dog. He knows Aikido. Got it? And he's a vet. He'll kill the likes of you with his eyes closed. One word from me and he'll... Rumka lifted his arm, stopping my torrent of lies, and made a couple of steps forward. Simeon slowly backed off, giving me an opportunity to stand. Did he believe me? Or was he confused by my face twisted with rage? A vet, you say? My dad also fought in the war. In Afghan. And yours? Mine too. Oh, really? What force did he serve in? I stumbled, fear chaunted my rage's throat and made it bleed. He's full of shit, Romka. Sure as fuck, huh? Do you think I'm so easy to trick? I can see through your lies, little bitch. There was a nasty smile on his face now. This didn't bode well for me. Well, you've asked for this. A teacher saved you at school, but here... you're fucked. That's right. Pray that they find your dead body come spring, eh? If only you stayed silent. Wouldn't have lost a hair. Hitting fatso is one thing. But fucking with stuff like Afghan, where my dad spent time under fire on international duty in fucking Dashti Margot? Give him a good pounding, Sioma. The delinquents closed in on me again, and I ended up in front of Simeon. The blood was pumping in my temples. Branches were swaying back and forth as if whispering something. Give me hope. I gritted my teeth, fighting the thought that I looked silly in being a boxing stance I often saw in the movies. What are you, fucking Mike Tyson? This was my first ever fight. I'll remember it for the rest of my life, if I don't kick the bucket, of course. At the edge of my vision, I noticed in the darkness writhe again, as if someone was walking back and forth there. I sensed Roma's claws grab my backpack. Give me a shit, Antoshka. It'll get in the way. I was about to refuse, unwilling to cooperate with the bastard, but then he fished a butterfly knife out of his pocket with one smooth motion, spun it as if showing it off, and put the blade to my neck. What? Hey, easy, buddy. I can make it painful. It let out a cloud of steam instead of words. Romka pulled with all his might, and my backpack ended up in his hands, calm and relaxed. An insidious smile on his face, he looked into my backpack. Are you hiding something from us? Some rat stole my school shoes. Let me see if it was... And what's this? Romka gave me a dubious smile. So what do we have here? My text and notebooks fell in the snow. He was holding my backpack in one hand and something weird in the other. It looked like... a mask? Roma lifted it high as if showing it to someone else. To someone in the treetops in the twilight among the trees. An old bunny mask. Long, worn out, barely visible, nose and whiskers, mangy fur on the sides. Where did it come from? Who put it there? Simeon laughed. It's way past New Year's, moron. Or you really a loony? It's not mine. How come it's not? It was in your backpack. Romka was watching the scene unfold with an evil smile on his face. You know what? Put it on. Why? 'Cause I'm telling you to. You'll hop like a bunny for us. Yeah, come on. We'll have you pantless. Anything but this. What if someone from our class will pass by? I won't. See, Oma. Put it on him. Biasha rushed in his friend's side and Buffoon, yeah, okay. Then he passed it to Simeon, who was already rubbing his hands in anticipation. I looked around in the pine woods as if waiting for help, as if the shadows that writhed around us would take pity on me and take my side. Branches looked like arms twisted in unusual angles, blackened bark with a charred skin, and the darkness was the smoke they produced. I can run, won't get away, they'll catch me, and then... Let me warn you, Sayoma. If he won't hop, you'll take his place, got it? This piece of shit won't? Just look at him, he's a total loony. This loony has already smacked you in the face. Romka's right. Come on, fatso, assert your fucking dominance. Or we'll make you hop so hard your pig tits will fall off. He must be scared of Romka. Simeon swore slightly and glared at me. Here. It'll fit better this way. He hurled a huge ball of spit on the inside of the plastic bunny face and put it close to mine. His spit looked like a squash spider. Romka's face twisted. He spasmed like a beast, like he wanted to tell Simeon something, but then he suddenly stopped. Simeon was still close by with a disgusting smirk on his face and a terrible smell coming from his mouth. Put it on fast, or you're dead. The mask almost looked even more disgusting now, yet despite everything. Felt like it was a chance for salvation. It could become my skin, my second skin, if it was only to put it on. If my face was to touch its bumpy surface, I'm sure the fur will glitter, the ears will tremble like they're alive. I just need to put it on and Simeon and his friends will be gone. Forever. I might die here. There's no shot that I'm putting that on. No shot that I'm putting that on. I'm gonna get stabbed in the snow right here. That's what I'm gonna do here. For some reason, Romka's disappointment with Simeon made me feel brave. Something was wrong with the crew, some old disagreement. Should I cut this old wound open? I need to get in their heads, into their skulls, their warm brains. You know what, Simeon? My own voice, smooth and determined, was a huge surprise. I stepped forward and calmly proclaimed, "Fuck off!" Felt like the whole world was paused for a second and then unpaused right away. Simeon's pupils widened. The mask fell out of his meaty hands. He took a while to process my words, looked stunned, as if he were trying to solve a difficult math problem. But the answer he got made me mad, judging by his bulging veins on his forehead. The others just observed the scene slightly, waiting for the inevitable payback. You're dead! His voice tore off icy crust from the nearby branches. It rained down with a melodic laugh. And then I heard whispers from the treetops, from holes in the ground, from animal lairs. As if Elisa was in one of the snow piles like a prompter in the booth, trying to get through to me. With no sign of fear, with a tinge of playful rage, that's how this low hum sounded to me. I stared into the clearing between the trees. An orange splot flashed there. A fox, an absolutely regular fox, stepped out of the bushes. I blinked in bewilderment. The animal fell on its tummy and was staring back at me with its burning eyes. Its furry tail was sweeping snow left and right, raising the white powder. "Look at me, bitch!" I was looking past him, and the fox was smiling at me. She grinned with all her teeth, while digging a hole in the snow pile, moving her paws as if dancing. Her sharp face was covered in snow, her whiskers were trembling. The fox put her face to the ground, shining platters of her eyes filled up with liquid silver. I returned to gaze at Simeon's twisted face. He was growling something unintelligible. The fox backpedaled and disappeared in the darkness, and the forest breathed at me, whispering, "Tell the pig to shut up." I slapped my own cheek to chase away the unfamiliar voice. But the message still lingered in my subconscious. The hint was my chance. I stared intensely at Simon's nose, and he was almost oinking from anger. I directed my words at him. "Shut up, pig!" Simeon looked paralyzed, as if the medium Alan Chumac hypnotized him. Stripped him of his will. I felt that aftertaste of Elisa's gum in my mouth. Berries. Felt like I had pulled a card from the greasy deck and it turned out to be a trump. My brain was at its limit. Polina's words about Simeon getting worse since he moved here flashed in front of my eyes like subtitles in a movie. All the pieces fell into place. My Joker went flying into his pimply face. I was speaking slow on purpose, dragging out every syllable. "I suspect that you had a reason to transfer to another school. You fled, right? Fled like a rat. Because kids can be cruel. With those who are different. Who's fatter or weaker than them. So you decided to bully others just like they bullied you." I saw Simeon's Adam's apple twitch like it was a pump action rifle getting reloaded. "You're trying to get payback at the old wounds. You want to pretend like you're different now. But you know what? Nothing changes at the snap of a finger. Should I tell you who you were?" The forest held its breath, listening in fascination. "Should I tell you who you still are?" Guys. Biasha was about to come to his friend's aid, but Romka stopped him, whipping out his controlling look. Biasha turned around and put his hands in my pockets. "Go on, Toa." Romka's words ricocheted from the rough trunks. "Should I tell you who you will always be?" Simeon looked around helplessly. "Your second name, the true name that your classmates gave you." Why do you... Romka and Biasha looked at Simeon like he was their prey now. I even thought I saw them lick their parched lips. The wind was also full of anticipation, dragging my scattered textbooks across the road. A pig! Thunderous scream echoed through the forest. Trees and ravines enjoyed it. The echo repeated over and over. Ramka grinned with all his teeth. Simeon's hands fell to his sides. He was on the brink of crying. I used this to my advantage. I threw the strongest punch I could muster. That's right, Anton. It was much stronger than the one in school. I rammed my fist into his scarred face and it produced a cracking sound. His pimply cheek danced like jelly under my fist. Simeon let out a sigh and plopped on the icy road. He was touching the place where I hit him. Still obvious to what just happened and how did it come to this. After looking at him for a while, I realized I was smiling. Fatso returned to his senses and threw himself at me, his face twisted with anger. But I dodged his charge quite easily after the great practice I played with I had playing with Elisa. Is that poop? He fell in the snow and he landed in a pile of dog feces. This made him squeal in agony. Attaboy, Toa. Attaboy, Toa. I thought you were a wimp, but you've given the fatso a good whooping. Simeon started sobbing after he realized the direness of his situation. Fuck! Well, let's hit it, Grandma. She'll kill me if she sees this. What are you whining about? Get your head out of your ass. Simeon's futile attempts at cleaning his coat caused a fit of giddiness from Biasha. I also smiled, angrily twisted my lips. Ha ha! Ha ha! Lucky fucker, eh? Hey, get up and hop like a bunny. Just stay away from us, you stink of shit. Ew. Oink. Oh wait, he said... That was Simeon? He said, oink, fuck you guys. His eyes, red from tears, stopped on mine. I didn't even have time to erase the smile from my face when Simeon lunged at me like a hawk and clawed at my face with his twisted fingers with gnawed fingernails. I threw a kick towards the layer of fat under the coat. At the same moment, the world became fuzzy, the black trees and the faces of the classmates all blurred. How you like that, bitch? He threw up a hand holding my glasses victoriously, but his triumph was short-lived. Two blurry silhouettes rushed forward. Sayoma's former friends. I heard the familiar sounds of someone being slapped around. This is against the rules, asswipe! Give back the oculars now! Fight like a fucking man, eh? Judging from Simeon's sighing and grumbling, he didn't agree to his friend's terms. What the fuck? Ouch! Ow! Betraying me for this piece of shit? Ow! Ow! Fuck you! Are we even friends anymore? Oink! A huge figure trembling in the snow barely managed to break out from the rain of punches and ran in the hills, dissolving into the twilight. We'll get you at school tomorrow, Porky. That's right. You'll answer for this, eh? I'll cut your throat, you hear me? Ramka and Biashka started throwing pieces of ice at the fleeing Simeon, and then switched to hurling mockery. Porky! Yo, this is so mean. The snow rustled. Two boys, clearly out of breath, approached me. I was finally able to make their faces clearly. My glasses. Ramka cursed under his breath. The fucker got them. At least he wiped his ass wiped his ass real good, eh? He'll come to school with a shiner this big. Biasha let out a throaty laugh. Okay, stop doing that. These guys are just cronies for bullies. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know. They just go with whoever's, like, the strongest. And it's kind of dumb. Hyenas in The Lion King would India laugh like that. Oh boy, when is this going to end? I thought it was going to be an hour. It's been an hour and 40 minutes now. This is crazy. Oh boy, can you see without your glasses, Toa? A little bit. A hand holding a red rectangle protruded from the mist. Ramka was offering me a cigarette. My treat. I squinted, trying to make out the brand, even though I didn't know anything about cigarettes. I haven't tried smoking, and I didn't really want to start. I wonder if they'll keep hanging out with me if I won't adopt all of their habits. After a moment of hesitation, I shook my head. Into sports, huh? Ha! Are you blind or something? Did you see how he thrashed Simeon? Real deal. Mortal fucking combat. Toa here is a Rocky Balboa. More like Ivan Drago. We'll split this one. Give me a light. Rumka pulled out a cigarette with his lips by Biasha scrambled to find a lighter inside his pockets. So, Toa, back to what I was saying. Don't be mad, bro. We were just testing you. I mean, your glasses and this mask. Biasha lit a giant Tbilisi, and Ramka smacked his lips, taking a long puff off his cigarette. I'm Ramka, by the way. He squeezed my hand so hard that my fingers hurt. His palms full of dry, torn blisters implied that he wasn't wearing a tracksuit for nothing. And this is Biasha. Don't worry, we'll have a talk with Porky. He let out a cloud of smoke in my face, which instantly made me cough. Yeah. I'll go gather my stuff, it's getting dark. I bowed to pick up my now emptied backpack and look for its contents, hoping that my new buddies will disappear when I turn around, but they just stood there, passing a cigarette back and forth. Two small silhouettes with a small light wandering between them, and the pine trunks as the backdrop. They were waiting for me to finish picking up my textbooks while whispering something to each other. Ramka was the one talking most of the time, though. Biasha was just constantly sniffing with his runny nose and mumbling in agreement. At that moment, I saw that old, battered bunny mask from a papier-mâché among the snow covered with notebooks. Its empty eye sockets could be filled with anything, with any eyes but this mask. Looked like it was only wanted mine. Where did it come from and why was it in my backpack? I picked it up with utmost care, as if I could bite off my finger at any moment. But it was just a carnival mask with frozen spit on the inside. Still, something felt weird about it. Wrong about it. Something was writhing inside of it underneath the layers of old newspaper. I could hear 1,000 of tiny bodies rustle in the trembling fur. Something was trying to chew its way out. What the heck? Maggots!
Готов, Тоха?
You ready, Toha? Ramka's voice pulled me out of a nightmarish delusion, and I threw the mask away in horror. Somewhere I won't be able to see it anymore. My innards were twisted from disgust, but I stood up, trying not to show it. Whether those maggots were real or just one of my delusions, I didn't care. All this was too much for a single day. I wanted to get home as soon as possible. Right, guys. I need to go. See ya. Held out my hand towards the two silhouettes to say goodbye. A couple of dark, thin lines trembled in front of me. They stood without moving, as if studying me. Hey, decide to buddy up with a cedar? We're over here. I realized that Ramka's voice was coming from behind the turned around embarrassed. Trees make for shit buddies. Relax, we'll escort you home. You're as blind as a newborn kitten. Without us, you'll end up dead around here. Cigarette butt hit against the stump with a flurry of sparks started sizzling in the snow near my feet. The boys let out a strained laugh and took me by the arms. We were then leaving the clearing. I turned around in hopes to see Elisa, or at least some orange dot. What if... The only thing I saw a rumbling tractor... But I only saw a rumbling tractor that was creeping out from the corner. A silhouette appeared on the side of the road, out of the fog. We made a space to let the person through. Because of my blurry vision in the twilight semi-dark, it felt like it was a ghost floating towards us. When the silhouette got close, I was able to make out the features of an adult man. I recognized his dumpy outline. He was smoking near the school this morning. The man gifted us with a busy stare, and his cold eyes moved forward, disappearing into the darkness. What a huge hair lip. I was afraid of the unknown man, that the unknown man will hear this offensive rhyme, but he already was too far away. We continued our journey. We were going alongside a still fire road in silence. Silence felt oppressing. Why do they call you Biesha? The berry... The berry hat kid just smirked in reply. Because I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing, eh? Bullshit. Fucking around is what he does best. He got his nickname because he bleats like a sheep. It started after he returned alive from the black garage. Biasha's face contorted at those words. I could even see it through the veil of blindness. He swayed and started mumbling something unintelligible. See? Happens every time someone brings it up. What are you talking about? Did you really not hear that horror story? The one of the pitch black street? In the pitch black alleyway? There's a pitch black garage. It knows everything about you. Where you live, what you like, who are your friends. I'm sure you've heard about the missing kids. Okay. This has been going on for a while here. The local folks know who's behind all of that. Even the adults. You got lucky. You live in the live right on the edge of the forest. This thing won't come there without a good reason. It knows that it'll look for it too foreign among the trees. While in our area, this piece of crap can hide anywhere, but be it at the end of a hallway or near your house. Also, you'll just be going somewhere at night and bam, you'll see the place that was empty just a while ago. Its door open, pitch dark inside, and then Biasha pulled his cape over his head and started howling. Oh my god, stop! Stop! God! I'm trying to silence Ramka. Fine, forget it. I was trying to process Ramka's story, but I couldn't figure out what to think of it. God, how long is this chapter? Oh my god. My mom used to live here back in the Soviet days. There's nothing to do here but rot anyway, or well, like Biasha here. Wander around the forest. Biasha fearfully showed his face from under his hood, like a snail crawling out of its shell, and listened in. He's a camper, see? Spent a whole week in a tent last summer, here nearby. Cool shit, right? I mean, with a crazy old woman like his, I'd also flee to the forest. We kept on going, but it felt like it was the forest that was sliding by. Pines with the black keys, and the space between them the white ones. You'd think it was playing an old creaky melody. Snowflakes flew around, creating a disturbing illusion that somebody was wandering in the forest, somebody tall, unnoticeable, ready to camouflage as a tree or a snow pile, and then when nobody paid attention anymore, they'd just continue moving along the road. But it was just a trick of the light. There was no one there. At least I wanted to think that. Ramka suddenly stopped and then said, "Hear that? Someone is snooping around in the forest." The skin under my clothes started itching. My stomach started aching. We looked around. We looked the way Ramka was pointing. Really tall, matching our speed. There was no tall silhouette behind the mass of pines. Just shadows creeping in the semi-dark. Shadows. Fast shadows. Hungry shadows. Okay. Can we stop with the illusions here? Please? Like is there something huge lifted on the tree and flew away? Maybe even towards us. Ramka threw a pine cone. Hey. His shout ricocheted. Did you see that? I shook my head. The only thing I could see was vertical strokes of trees. Got you. Let's move faster. The sun's setting. Yep. Grab by the elbows. The sun was finally down. It's snowing. Smells like dead meat. My vision had become a small island. I apologize. I'm just ready to get this episode over with. It's a lot of analogies, and it's kind of annoying. Imagine a child walking at night under the watchful eyes of pines. Did you know Volva? The boy went missing recently? Elisa. Weren't we looking for him, sweetie? I shuddered and stopped, staring at the person who was guiding me. At Elisa and her unchanging fox mask, the girl was gently holding my elbow. What? Why are you... I lost sight of you. I lost sight of you. You did. Because you were careless. I squinted in suspicion. How long were you following us? What do you mean, how long? I was always by your side. And who's us? Stunned, I looked around, but couldn't find Roma or Biasha. And then, I felt her cold finger on my wrist. Let's go! We were going to look for Vova. Oh, we were going to look for Vova. Without a chance to catch my breath, She started dragging me along through the forest. Angel, I'm as confused as you are, man. I'm as confused as you are. I don't know what's happening. Without a chance to catch my breath, she started dragging me along through the forest. I'm gonna guess that this girl, maybe it was all in Anton's head? I don't know what's real anymore. I was enveloped by the smell of tangerines, coffee, and firecrackers. Felt like I was a small kid again, being led into the unknown. I saw dark silhouettes and trees ahead. The bushes, hedgehogs were wary, showing us their spikes. Something rectangular appeared in our way, like a small box. I became petrified. I touched the edge of my eye, pulling back the eyelid as if I were trying to correct my vision. A garage made of metal rose right up from the windfall. It was big. No, huge, impossible to move without special equipment. Its walls were painted black, even blacker than the darkness around us. Fox sniffed, and it seemed like her mask twisted in disgust. This is the place. The worried voice of my companion scared me, even more than the horrifying metal box. Here? I can smell him. Maybe Volva is playing hide and seek with us, and he decided to hide. Inside? I felt like I saw smoke form tentacles that split off the garage, searching for something that wilted leaves. 1 second. I stepped towards the garage, holding my breath. I gave the sheet metal door a small knock with my knuckles, and then jumped back. I heard rusty meat hooks jingle and thick metal chains, awakening someone huge who crawled to open the black gates. Nothing happened. My heart was racing. What the heck? Still nothing. Knock, knock. I hesitated to turn my back to the garage, but I took a couple steps back. Run, I heard, a weak, scared voice resounding in my head, stumbling all over the place. I still rushed in the night, swarming the shadows. I ran behind the crooked trunk of pine, sure that Elisa was by my side. But after a moment had passed, I realized that the girl was nowhere to be found. The forest was mumbling in ancient chants, squeaking, ticking, rustling. I froze. I didn't know how much time had passed before I realized I was standing in complete darkness in a circle of trees that were shooting up their trunks high in the sky. Everything around me trembled, my ears was numb from all the rustling. The treetops melted into the darkness of the cosmos. The blushes came, empty cells. Yeah, it's really dark. We get it. We get it. It's really dark. Oh my gosh. Anton! Someone was looking for me, just like the boy who went missing. Tears stung in my eyes. A big drop fell from my lashes. Anton! The scream was closer now. For a moment, I even believed that I was about to be saved. I'm here! One of the trees moved. It wasn't Romka, nor was it Biasha. An adult, tall with long arms. Many shadows that looked like dogs snuck around the back. The beasts were larger than Zolka. The forest was dormant no longer. No longer it hid its face from the fake masks. In this semi-dark, without my glasses, I could see very little, but it was still more than enough for me to freeze in terror. I didn't dare lift my eyes, so when he got close, showering me with a stench for a moment, I thought that his legs were covered in gray fur. I shut my eyes so tight that the red circle started dancing on the inside of my eyelids. I don't want to look, but I could still hear everything. His breath was akin to sandpaper that was scratching my ears. His voice was deep, hoarse. No, it was a voice. It wasn't a voice, a roar. Roar? I finished my grandma's chant out of the pool of my memory. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, ashes. I got a stench and a roaring in reply. Words could not protect against claws and fangs. I was helpless. And then I heard a familiar sweet voice nearby. Come on, do it. Get a taste of him. What? No! Something hot slid across my throat like a meaty, sticky rope. Someone's tongue. I told you, Master. He's our bunny. Please take good care of him. From the narrow embrasures of barely lifted eyelids covering by my trembling fingers, I watched a horrifying silhouette tower over me. I was taking in the smell of kennels, compost pits, and moss. In front of me stood a scary, horned beast with the presence of a monarch. His posture told me of his electrifying nobleness. His horns supported the clouds. Yep, he's a big figure, I get it. His hands were full of gifts. Is this Krampus? Candy fell in the snow? For you. Candy rained at my feet. And a gun? A toy gun. A doll fell nearby, and then it started raining toys. Spinning top, a teddy bear, a torn up nose, red... Okay. The toys weren't covered in blood, but my imagination painting them red spots and crimson leaks all on its own. The horned shadow of a beast moved over the treasures that once belonged to unknown kids. Take. His hairy hands reached into surrounding darkness, took out my angry bunny mask that was haunting me, and forcefully put it over my face. Bunny. The shadows of beasts around us slowly and graciously stood up on their rear legs, and then light hit my face, shattering the monster's figure in two. I put up my hand to protect myself. Flashlight's ray slid down. Anton! There you are! Are you out of your mind? What's this all about? I was staring at my dad, completely stunned, into the space where the monster was just a moment ago. The clearing was enveloped in darkness again, but I could barely make out the outlines of toys and candy in the snow. And I'm sure if I was brave enough to get close to the bushes, I'd find animal prints there. Cat got your tongue? Your classmates came to us. They said you ran away from them deep in the forest and... What the hell are you wearing? I guess I don't know. The only thing that I have in mythology for Big Demon Goat is Krampus. You know. I pulled the mask down from my sweaty face and I threw it in the heap of toys. Branches cracked in the distance. I pressed myself into my father's chest, engulfed by fear, and he started looking around, alerted, and spoke in a tone of voice that was much more nervous. Okay, let's get out of here. If your mother learns of this, she'll be so mad at us that we'll never forget this day. I reached out for my father, still feeling the chilling embrace of fear. I grabbed his firm hands, felt his quick pulse and with my fingertips, then stood up and wobbled again behind my father, following his barely discernible footsteps. Back to civilization, back to light, back to the road where my dad parked his car. And not a word about this at home, got it? Don't even hint at where I found you. Alright, Dad. He was holding my hand as if it was the most precious thing in the world and kept telling me how afraid he is to lose me or Olya. But it wasn't that sticky like an animal tongue fear. His fear was a noble, crystal clear diamond, and I just nodded in reply and kept moving my feet, and then I heard a familiar voice coming from behind me. Remember, as long as you're with me, nobody will lay a finger on you here. Okay. Car sped towards the house. Oh, there's the cabin. Pressed my cheek against the window and saw a short building among the trees, a shack darker than the night. The garage that was hidden in the thicket, a crypt made of metal. It almost felt like it was following us. The moment passed and the building disappeared around the corner. I gulped down my dolor. And the snow and the white snowflakes just kept dancing in the starry sky. Look at what the cat dragged in. Mom was going down the stairs, piercing Dad with her trademark glare. Her face showed something between wrath and condescension? Suddenly her gaze shifted to me and stayed for a dangerously long time. Hey, what's this? Where are your glasses, Anton? Did you lose them? This dummy probably just forgot them at school. A venomous pause followed. He's your son, all right. Dad glared at Mom and then mischievously winked at me and reminded me of our deal. Well, we have spare glasses, so we'll manage somehow. My parents stood in silence a bit longer, and both of them went to mind their own business. Anton, you need to get antipsychotic medication. Swear, I swear. Olya threw herself into my arms before I could even take off my coat. Aww. I saw a fox! Surprise akin to shotgun blast. I could only flap my lips in reply. What? A cup shattered in many little pieces with a loud thang. My mom let it fall from her hands. Her face was pale and her eyes were glued to the ground. The pause, just a split second, felt like an eternity. Then my mom spoke with disappointment. First it was an owl, now it's a fox! Will you ever get tired of this? But it's true! She was so fluffy! She stood on her back legs near the hedge, just like a person. The fox called my name, but then Mom came and she fled. There was no fox. Stop making things up. Don't go near her. If it was necessary, I was ready to shake my sister as if she was a doll made of cloth. What's wrong, Tasha? Don't go. You hear me? Mom entered the hallway and gave me a surprised look. I hesitated. Well, a fox will bite you. I remembered fairy tales where foxes used to kidnap children. I imagined my Elisa, liberated, carnivorous, running through the night forest with dangling sack in her hands. It wasn't a real fox. Tell him, Olya. She stood on two legs and she wore a dress. And she was real. See? Mom showed us a tired smile, as if it was the only explanation needed. I also forced myself to smile. My smile was like a thin piece of soap right before it dissolved completely onto your palm. But when I was left alone with my sister, I whispered, if you see her again, run. Thoughts of the forest beasts bombarded me like a rain of candy and toys. There was hairy silhouettes standing in front of me, towering over the treetops. Who was he? What happened in the forest? What's happening to me? I shut my eyes and threw my vitamins in my mouth, washed them down with water. Please stop driving me mad. Please. I barely managed to force myself to do homework, but those math problems just refused to be solved. Numbers in my notebooks tumbled around and mixed in a whirling dance. Okay, he's doing his homework. I surrendered and closed my notebook. Thank you for the follow. Thank you. I appreciate it. I stream every single day. Right at the moment I surrendered and closed my notebook, the memories of the day started flashing before my eyes. I was in the middle of the stuffy school corridor. Why are we back at school? I could see the literature classroom. And around that corner was her daughter Katya, a snitch and a gossip, eagerly waiting for me. Hey, transfer student. What do you want, Katya? She got on her toes and started swaying and hiding her hands behind her back, then asked me with a fake smile on her face, okay, why are we back at school? Can I ask you something? Why did you get transferred here? I might have told the truth about this to Polina. But Katya was... So I reverted to the answer I knew by heart. It's all because of my parents. Dad took a new job here. Yep. Yeah, right. He takes us all for fools. I've heard it's because of his father. He crossed the road of some big shot and now the family is hiding in a remote little village. That's not true. You're lying. Oh yeah, did you hear how he hit Bobberin out of the blue? What kind of freak must you be to start bullying your classmate from day one? Stop. You knew he started it. And if that wasn't enough... there are rumors that he's hanging out with delinquents from Ramka Pyatifan's gang. Be careful with your bags, girls. I would be surprised if things start disappearing from your wardrobe. We'll know who to blame. Petrov and his friends. Yes. Shut up. Look at him scream as if something bit him. His pupils, now look how wide they are. I hope they don't go insane and resort to violence again. I mean, there must be a reason for his mom To always feed him those pills, right? I stood there in confusion, trying to understand how she felt about my found out about my medicine. And what scared me even worse was the possibility of her nonsense had some truth mixed in. That's right! He's as insane as his little sister. Can you imagine that she's... Okay, okay. Are you really unwell? Paulina, please listen to me. Yeah, right. Don't listen to this liar. That he cheated on you with someone not from our school. With Elisa. Paulina slouched as if someone kicked her in the stomach. I'm not dating Paulina. No. Why her, Anton? Why? I wanted to pick you, Paulina. Get your paws off her, you monster. Oh my god. The fact that your father beats your mother doesn't give you a right to do the same to girls. My fists are hammers. I couldn't unclench them. Nobody can speak about my family like that. I came to my senses when I already lunged at the angry Katya. Aha! He went nuts! Help! Petrov went completely insane! He's... Stop! What the heck? Stop that! I shrink to a tiny ball. Okay. So you've finally shown your animal nature, coward. Katya's face was twisted in jubilation and ecstasy. Anton! Why her? No! What makes her better than me? Paulina screamed and choking on her tears. He is just an animal, an outsider. A scary flapping of wings came from the forest. A pair of giant white ears ascended somewhere from above. I dug myself into them. Anton, please, wake up! I jumped up, almost falling out of bed. Apparently I was thrashing around for hours in sweat-soaked sheets. Olya screamed, pull me out, set me free from the tentacles of fear. Anton, please, wake up! It took my eyes a while to focus on the silhouette near the window. Olya's face was distant, my head was still ringing from the fight. Sounds got distorted, as if my ears were stuffed with cotton. My sister, as distressed as ever, kept on repeating the same phrase. The owl, please, I'm scared. Her tears poured on my heart like boiling water, but I was almost thankful for the owl's appearance. Otherwise, the scared Olya wouldn't have woken me up. Wait a second, Olya. Want me to read, Merzilka for you? I placed my bare heels on the cold floor, felt around for my glasses, remembered Simeon and his underhanded act, and sighed. Anton, please, look! She couldn't tear... Okay, let me look at this. Olya, what's there? That's not Olya. What happened? Do you want me to open the curtains? No, please don't. The owl's there. The voice was coming from behind. Stop! Okay, that's Olya. I turned around in frozen terror. Teary-eyed Olya stood in the doorway. Who are you talking to right now? She stared at me with eyes that were red from crying and her hands wrapped around her shoulders. Her voice was nervous, as if she was afraid. I was talking to you, to someone who pretended to be you. The ledge outside my window creaked ominously, so something was sitting atop it. The tiny thing that pretended to be Olya started spreading, changing shape, grew to scary heights under the light of carnivorous moon. Anton, please, come closer, come here. The voice didn't belong to my sister anymore. The thing that was hiding behind my curtains got tired of pretending, making me look like a fool. I pinched myself as hard as I could, hoping the silhouette... Okay, what is it? What is it? It came to get us! Another knock. I stepped back in the middle of the room, as if there existed nooks where I could hide from this horror. The sound was sharp, metallic. Okay, what is it? Darkness was waiting for the exact moment. Yeah, okay, but what is it? Olya started squealing and pressed herself into my back, seeking protection. And then an eye, burning with a carnivorous fire, stared at us from the window. Knock, 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 knock. No, it wasn't trying to break the window, it was just toying with us. It just kept knocking, driving us mad. As if a giant clock was measuring the time left for us, its pendulum swinging above the abyss. Go away! Get out! Shoo! It was screaming, and she was screaming in desperation. Anton, Anton, come closer! I could barely make out a pair of wings that spread just above the black spot. Tell her, Anton! Tell it I won't be a bad girl anymore. No, not ever. I just want it to leave, please. The moonlight suddenly disappeared and the room descended into darkness. We couldn't see the burning eye anymore. It swallowed the stingy lump that was stuck in my throat. I stepped towards the curtains, entranced by the call of the disfigured guest. Ollie was standing behind me, mumbling, I'll be good, I'll be good, I'll be good. The bleak window was creeping closer, curtains rustled. Okay, what is behind it? I heard noise coming from our parents' bedroom. Without thinking, I pulled the curtains to the side in one swing. Nothing. Though there was something shining on the ledge among the scattered feathers. My glasses. The ones that Simeon took from me. How did they get here? Is that a gift from the gurgling night, or did the owl really bring them here? I looked at the front yard, foreboding clearing, and the toothy forest. Not a soul. Okay. The window with trouble. Okay. But they were real. My brain was scrambling for an explanation. A smooth white blanket was glittering under the street lamp just outside our yard. If anyone was to get close to the house, to climb the pipe or the ledge of the window, they would surely leave footprints. But there were none. Okay. Why aren't you in bed? I swayed from surprise and almost fell out the window. Are you out of your mind? Did it feel hot in here? Did you want to catch a cold? Not I'll be good. She's saying I won't. What? The owl was here, Tasha chased it away. Go to your room immediately and get in your bed. And you. Mom paused, directing her seething eyes at me. She was thinking of a punishment equal to the crime. In the end, she just waved her hand, took Olya by the shoulder, and left, throwing gloomy words my way. We'll talk tomorrow. Okay. Good. Placed my glasses on my nose, and started studying my reflection in the window. It didn't look like a face, more like a death mask. Just like one worn from a boy from the notice board. That night, I was on the edge of joining him there. Yeah, probably. Black and white face was staring at me through the clearing between student heads. And it wasn't vulva, his face was right behind it. I recognized the fat cheeks, the damaged skin. Simeon. Bobberin's photo was printed out and placed under the glass, like an exhibition piece. Finally! So he found his glasses after the owl came to his window, and he opened the curtains finally and found his glasses sitting there. He found his glasses sitting there, and it turns out Simeon is also missing now. I think it's the guy that's like standing, like, you know, he was smoking in front of the school, and then he was standing in the middle of the woods. I think it's that guy. But